Hi, I'm Sally Thibault. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the next stage you go through in the journey to living lighter. So the first one we talked about was where that heavy part, when you first start out, where you just don't want to do the same old thing that you've done all your life again. It sits in this quadrant between intentional, so you've made an intention that you're going to change, but you're still sitting in that informed part, which is all the information, all the things you've ever believed before. So there's a real dichotomy, a kind of challenge to lift out of one way of thinking and believing and move to the next. It's the hard stage. The next, of course, we talked about was the bumpy stage. So this is when your beliefs are really getting jostled around and it doesn't feel at all easy at all. This is where it's the individual and the intentional. You're trying to really understand this whole aspect of you being in charge, you taking control of your own journey and letting go of all the rules and regulations and moving right into that choice aspect. This is where you've made the statement, I now allow myself to eat anything I want and I choose to honor my body. That's sort of like, I don't know if I can really do this. Okay, the next part on the other side of the quadrant is what I call the messy part. We talked about that in the last video. And that messy part is where between the intuitive and the informed. All right, so this is where you're really starting to get kind of your whole belief system really getting jangled up a little bit. And here's where it's the inner work. It's just the inner work that you've got to commit to get you through this part where you really step into that intuitiveness and begin to make informed choices based on what you believe, not what somebody else is telling you. And the next part, so it comes back up to the top again, and we talk about what I kind of term as airy. It's an airy feeling. It's like you feel untethered. Now this is where it's the individual and intuitive right at the very top here, because you really are stepping into that. I am an individual. That is my superpower. I am going to trust my intuition. But there's no real nothing you can really hang on to at this point, because it really is about you trusting in yourself and in your wisdom. And it can feel quite scary. It feels untethered. It feels like you're lifting up all the anchors and you're really beginning to trust yourself. You know you cannot go back to that old way of doing things, but you don't quite know yet where the next stage sits, where you totally feel comfortable in this stage. And, I've worked with a number of clients, and you can see when they get to this point, it's like the lights go on, they're starting to feel so much better, but there's this belief, can I keep doing this? I don't know if I can continue to trust myself, because all the old patterns start to come up then of, but I've been down this track before where I've lost weight and I've felt really good about myself, but I've gone back to old patterns. So you haven't quite yet latched onto that grounding yet, but trust me, it's just, you've only got to go one or two more steps till the lighter journey becomes so much part of your heart, so much a part of your soul. It's where you're really honoring your value, your worth, you feel empowered, you feel truthful to yourself. It's that space where you truly honor your individuality as a superpower, and you are locked into this for life. Again, it requires the inner work. That's all it is. There's no rules, there's no regulations. You are simply operating from that beautiful space within you, that guiding light within you that is so individual to you. It's where you begin to understand about how powerful you really are. You begin to see it because you start to manifest it. It's a fabulous place to be. And as I mentioned in the last video, that's the thing about this lighter journey. While we're talking for the moment about food and weight, this model fits over the top of so many other things and so many other aspects of your life. Money, relationships, success, this model can fit right over the top. The journey is the same. It's just that we happen to be talking about food and weight. And I've said on numerous occasions, this is sometimes the last frontier for many of us, to really step into the possibilities that you have total control over your body, how it feels, that you are not out of control, you don't hand your power over to anybody any longer. This is the place of true power. But for the first little while, it can feel really untethered. Now, if you're really struggling with this, you want to know more, you're thinking, gosh, this really feels like where I need to go right now. There's a link below, or click on my link in the bio, and let's have a chat. See if it's something that you're ready to do. You're really ready to do this. If you're looking at life now and thinking, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I need to do something different. Would you give me a call and let's have a chat. See if it's something. You may not be ready for it, and that's okay too. But you won't know till you have a chat. So click on the link. I'd love to chat with you.